Aloha mai, welcome to Truth and Justice. Mako Hawaii Pai Aina, what you and I, well, what I used to call Hawaii. Welcome, this is December 27th, 2010. Pretty soon we're going to go into a whole new year. So, mele kalikimaka to all of you folks out there. And hau'oli makaikiho, that means Happy New Year in Olala, Hawaii. And we have a special show for you this evening. Okay, so get in, cozy up, and you may want to get your pencil out and a piece of paper, because we are continuing our human rights series on this show, and we are examining human rights. We're taking a look at what human rights are. We are also learning what are human rights violations, what causes them, what we can do about them, and how we can resolve this together. Because what's happening in the reflection, so we're concerned with human rights here, ya ke kuliana pakanaka, and at the same time, what's happening worldwide or globally is that the United States, for the first time in history ever, has been examined for their human rights violations beginning in November of this year, and that was through the Universal Periodic Review, which is a combined venue. It was made specifically to examine the human rights violations caused and committed by nations around the globe. And this effort has not only been instrumental so far in just waking up administrations as to become aware of their obligations under human rights treaties, like the Declaration or the Human Rights Universal Declaration, the Bill of Rights, the International Covenants on civil and political rights, and also on indigenous people's rights and the protection of people's rights against racism. And it's entirely broad, but when we look at this venue and we utilized it, what we've done is create successes together so far that actually we haven't been able to achieve since 1993. And we're going to get into that a bit later. But do follow along with the show. We're going to be talking about human rights and exploring human rights all the way until the end of the UPR process, the Universal Periodic Review process, and that would be after March of next year, okay, which is coming around very soon. So do follow along with us on that. And tonight we're going to be talking about chemtrails. Chemtrails, if you are not aware of what they are poisons being sprayed into the air. And we're going to be talking with our very special guest tonight. He will be calling in from Los Angeles in the United States to speak with us at about 7:15 or so about the video that he did produce, and I believe co-produced, and he's very intelligent. He knows all about the subject matter, both the scientific facts, the health facts, and also information that you and I could probably use in order to resolve the issue. And his name is Michael J. Murphy. You'll be able to see his video, which we will be showing here in a few minutes, called What in the World Are They Spraying? You can check it out on YouTube. You can check it out all over the internet. This guy is even, he's taken and donated DVDs, and he's burned them and donated them back out, because this is such an important and critical time for you and I to be aware of our rights when it comes to our survival, our health, and indeed the health of generations to come. Okay, so before we show you the DVD here, I'd like to introduce you to a guest that we have in the studio. He is a member of the Human Rights Task Force, which was chartered in Kohawa Ipai Aina. And that I know, because I personally work with the Human Rights Task Force as well, that has been in contact with the United Nations Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, the Troika, the 8 treaty bodies, and especially the civil society units. I'd like to introduce you to Jeremiah Naone. Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha. Thank you for watching. Whenever you see the number coming up on the screen, please call in. I sit on the Human Rights Task Force. I was going to bring up some local issues, but there's a national issue going on right now on the human rights. If you don't mind me bringing that up, it's about education.
Sure, not at all. And then we'll go to the chemtrails.
I don't know why I went going to education the last minute, but
sure.
It was an ex-judge. She was retired now, and she talked about the educational system. I just want to point out that the federal government doesn't have any right to force education on the states. They don't have a right to do that. They got to be separate, and as well as the health care, they got to be separate, and they can't force stuff on you. That's a human right violation. That's a human right violation right there. People should stand up for that. People should stand up for the state. By the way, I just want to say there's 49 states. We're not a state. We're occupancy. Most of you out there think that we are a state, but we're not. So that's why she said, Supreme Court Justice that retired said that she has control of she wants to have control of the educational system, and she has 49 states involved.
Interesting. Who's this?
She just retired.
Mulway.
Yeah, because it just came into my mind. Yeah.
Who?
She's kind of elderly, and I could probably get her name next year. But just came into my mind, and I saw her on TV today, and I tried
United States Supreme Court?
No, United States Supreme Court.
And
she just retired, and she wants to get the education in there, and just like forcing the states to accept this. You have to stand up. It's something in you that should be stirring in you that says, no power, extremely powerful power, should come into your being and force you to do what they tell you to do. Because once they do that, then they sort of give you increments, over a period of, say, 50 years. And they make you, okay, I can take that, I can take this, I can take that. After a while, it's like what's happening today. Obama is giving you 5 gallons at a time now, and they're forcing it. And I know you out there don't know sometimes the truth, because the truth can be right next to you.
So you're saying we ought to question the power,
always,
if there is any power there, right? And no, it's good, because we all should be aware of the fact that we do have our own power. In natural law, we are the executives.
Except for the state of Hawaii.
And the state of Hawaii?
The state of Hawaii is actually run by the Department of Defense, when you look at it. If you look at the funding of the University of Hawaii, you might question, why is it that the state of Hawaii has the Department of Defense running most of their programs?
Well, I think we're going to get...
Well, I can get carried away.
We're going to get some idea of why that is, because we're going to take a look at Michael Murphy's DVD here called What in the World Are They Spraying?